forget that.
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and welcome to, well, our thoughts on NXT Takeover San Antonio. And man, do I need to put out an apology and a written letter to WWE for saying that this is one of the weaker cards for an NXT show. Man, oh man.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad call, I think.
I think
all the matches surprised me. I mean, like I asked that Andrade Cien and Roderick Strong step up, and they did. I asked that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus Authors of Pain, that match needed to be they needed to exceed my expectations, and it did. So it just unbelievable.
You know, every single time Ty Dillinger comes out, I get chills. Every single time. He is so over, it's not even funny. This guy needs to be on the main roster.
I'm telling you, I see him running out tomorrow since there's some slots left open.
I really hope. I really do.
I mean, he'll probably get thrown out immediately, but just to have him run out shows he's being called up.
No, he doesn't need to be thrown out immediately at all. But joined by Andrew and Chris today, or tonight. What was y'all's thoughts of tonight, man? I mean, for me, I'm not gonna sit here and say it was the best takeover, but it was one to remember. It was really good. I thought the main event was outstanding. I thought the injury angle that they did was outstanding. I mean, just thinking about it. The rematch is gonna be amazing. Like, I'm already getting excited for the rematch between Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, yeah. And they ran that injury angle perfectly well. Nakamura sold that.
Mm-hmm. He did. And not to mention, we see Seth Rollins run out.
Yeah, that totally hyped up the whole freaking show.
What's going on, Kev? That did hype the show for me 100% when Seth came out. I'm not leaving this ring. Triple H came down a little bit, said, wasting my time, basically. So good. Such a good night. If you're looking for the results, Roderick Strong beat Andrade Cien. Eric Young beat Ty Dillinger. DIY lost the tag team championships to the Authors of Pain. Asuka beat Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce, and Bobby Roode is now your new NXT champion. I want to speak about the women's match right now, and man, it seemed like it just got started, and then boom, it's over. So
yeah, it was crazy how that match was really good though. I mean, I like how they made Vicky Cross look strong, and I love how they took Vicky Cross out of the match, eliminating her through the table. And from that moment on, I knew that Asuka was going to win, and I had a feeling she was going to win the way she did. So it wasn't a surprise to me towards the tail end.
Mm-hmm. Nikki Cross and Asuka are going to end up tearing the place down. It's not even going to be funny what they're going to be able to do in the future. As I said, I think Nikki Cross, on the prediction show, I think Nikki Cross and Asuka, or Nikki Cross could be the woman to take out Asuka, and they made Nikki Cross. I mean, she didn't look weak. She got put through a table, and as Asuka's walking off, out of the arena, off the ramp, you just see Nikki Cross just smiling at her on the table. It was outstanding. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Really, I can't say I was really impressed by them, to be honest.
Man, I mean, I'm speechless. That's how blown away I am by it. I expected it to be okay. I didn't expect it to be really good.
Yeah. Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura. We could talk about the main event. That was outstanding. I mean, both entrances. I mean, if that didn't get your attention, I love how they played it slow for a little bit because again, we just got off a really good match with the women's title, and they slow it down, let everyone calm down, and then they went into their big ending. Shinsuke playing the injury role was sold it so well, like you said, Andrew. Sold it very, very well.
Hell, I believed it.
You know, the way he was screaming and rolling around in pain, and oh man, it gives me chills. And you know, if it were any other competitor, if it was any other night, it would have been one DDT over. But you know, Shinsuke Nakamura took the DDT, kicked out. Bobby Roode shocked. Shock on his face says it all. And then they go in and he gets that half Boston Crab on him, and he's pounding away at that leg, pounding away, and he gets to the ropes and gets the break, and then the DDT again for the win. It was set up so perfectly. I couldn't find anything wrong with that match from top to bottom.
I might sound like a hypocrite here because I just pound WWE when Roman Reigns kicks out of all the stuff that he kicks out of. This is how you make someone look strong. It makes both opponents look strong. Shinsuke kicks out of his first finisher, gets out of the submission hold, but couldn't get out of the third one with the injury. Bobby Roode hits it. I mean, you know, it made Bobby Roode look strong. It made Shinsuke. It doesn't make Shinsuke look weak or bad. This rematch is going to be fucking awesome when I guarantee you at the next TakeOver, which will probably be Orlando.
Holy shit, Blake cussed on the show. That does not happen very often, folks.
Hey, you know what? NXT brings out the best in us. It really does.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's pretty. And see, this is where we get to the problem here. You know, at the end of the show, we were like, okay, which show is going to be better? And a lot of us were thinking of Royal Rumble, and you know, and that was because this was quote unquote the weakest card that they probably had in recent memory. And wow, even their weakest matches stepped up. See, now we had a lot of things going on. We knew the Royal Rumble was going to be good because of all the star power that's in there. But can we really say for sure that every single match is going to be able to hold consistent with what, you know, NXT did? NXT from top to bottom had good, solid, decent wrestling and good, solid, decent storytelling.
Do you want me to be honest?
Go ahead, be honest. That's what we're here.
No, I'm going to lie to you. No. I honestly and truthfully think that the Royal Rumble can outdo TakeOver. The only thing that I think that could kill it is the Universal Championship. But there's still there's still a great chance that can be really good. I didn't say potential.
Never mind, it's over.
I didn't say
it's
potential.
Over.
I didn't say potential.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, that's a chance. We haven't.
You guys keep saying it, so I just automatically.
We haven't banned that word yet. Kevin Wright says, for my first NXT pay-per-view, it was a great event. If that was your first, man, whew.
Wow, go back, get the WWE work, and go back and watch the other takeovers. You'll be blown away.
Yeah. It was that. I mean, look, here's my thing. I have a hard time keeping up with NXT with everything else I'm doing. But, and, you know, I said that Royal Rumble was going to be better. I still stick with that. But that's because I'm always pulling for the, you know, for the actual WWE event. But man, like you guys said, for the quote unquote weak card, this was a freaking great event. I mean, I was up out of the seat, screaming at the TV quite a few times.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing about NXT, and you know, it's a shame that we have to like say this because a lot of people don't have the WWE Network, and a reason for that is people are so turned off by Monday Night Raw and well, I don't even want to say SmackDown Live at this point, but I mean Monday Night Raw, which is what most people watch, that they don't want to tune into things like NXT or the Cruiserweight Classic, and they're missing out on great quality television because things like NXT, if you go back and watch NXT. You go back and watch TakeOver, you see how they consistently tear the house down. And you really think to yourself, is this the same product? And the answer is no. It's like, how is NXT getting it right where WWE is getting it wrong? And that's the beauty of NXT. It's something magical. It's something organic. It's not something that's overplayed and self-destructive like Monday Night Raw. and what we're used to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, like I said, I'm still gonna stick with my guns, and I'm not gonna go back and say, well, Takeover is gonna be the better event. I'm still gonna go off and say that Royal Rumble will be a better event. My only concern out of this card, and I'm gonna speak on something after this. My only concern is Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, but there are a few things that can happen that'll make it great. It's predictable, but it'll make it a good match. Now,
It's predictable.
you know what? Hey, I can easily hang up on you. Watch. No, I'm joking. So like I was saying, I think a problem that NXT, though, there's one negative with NXT. We get this expectation when it comes to the next night, if there's a pay-per-view the next night. But the last 3 NXT takeovers there has, or 2. We look at the next night. It's like the SummerSlam should blow this out of the water. SummerSlam can really do better than NXT. And then it's just like, what the fuck are we watching? Survivor Series is the same thing. We're over here thinking, man, NXT was great. Survivor Series can blow this out of the water. Turns around and we sit here. How the fuck do you have Brock Lesnar losing a minute and 12 seconds? So that's where I'm at right now with it. Like, are we putting it too high of an expectation just to lead to ourselves to get disappointed?
Yeah, I can 100% see what you're saying there. And, I think the best thing to really understand that would be our feelings towards NXT tonight. We've been so good to we've been so introduced to the quality NXT television and storytelling that this week we just honestly didn't think it was going to compare to other shows that have been down the line because of injury and people moving on. And you gotta give it to the NXT superstars who work tirelessly to put on a good product and redefine what we consider to be a fantastic product.
Yeah. But let's get back on NXT. I thought Ty Dillinger and Eric Young was outstanding. It stinks that the numbers game got to Ty Dillinger, but the question rises again: do we see Ty Dillinger tomorrow night?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? NXT really owes Ty Dillinger something, in my opinion. I really think that Ty Dillinger has really left an impact on NXT. I think that, and especially, again, this proves it. No matter who he's paired with, Ty Dillinger has headlined the last 2 takeovers, 3 takeovers, and every single time the matches are consistently better. And he really does set the tone and set the bar high for the next few matches. And I feel like that attributes to NXT's success. The fact that they have a good solid match to look at and try to beat. And then it just gets progressively better. So instead of it being like a Raw pay-per-view where we get one really good match and then we have to sit through 3 or 4 crappy matches before we get to another really good match. You have like a consistent build-up where one match is better than the other, and it keeps just building, like a building block.
Yeah, there was during the women's match, I had my buddy Kevin Wright, who's actually in the chat right now. He texted me. He's like, "Dude, this is crazy," and I just thought, yeah. I told you, because he watches. He doesn't have the network, but I'm letting him use my information. That way he can watch. And he's been thinking, man, SmackDown's really good. And I asked, I said, have you ever seen NXT? He's like, no, I haven't. I said, dude, you don't understand what you're missing. And I could have maybe oversold it, and I'm pretty sure he's probably thinking, what the hell is this dude talking about? But I'm pretty sure now he's like, whoa. So. I'll go out and say it. I thought the main event was match of the night.
I look. I'd say that, and I hate to kind of backtrack, but man, the tag team match to me, I think was head to head with that, dude. The tag team match was fucking great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so hard to choose. I mean, like, I honestly think that you have to save that spot for Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode after what we just saw. But I mean, I can go back and say that I think Ty Dillinger and Eric Young
That's a close
really,
second for me.
Yeah, see, that
put
was a
on
great
a
match too.
fantastic match. But I mean, you could say that about a lot of them. If I had to pick the weakest match on this card, I'm going to say it's the women's match, and it was a fantastic match. And the only reason why I would say that it was a weaker match is because I feel like it didn't go on as long as the other matches. So I feel like they could have added more, but they kind of just left it short and sweet. And I think
Yeah.
the Seth Rollins promo kind of bit into their time.
I 100% can see where you're coming from. Like I said, I mean, it seems like as soon as the Fatal 4-Way started, it ended. I thought we were going to see a lot more, to be honest. When Nikki Cross went through a table, she went through the table beautifully. And I'm thinking, okay, what are they going to do here? Obviously, Asuka's going to outpower both of them in some way. But I didn't think the match was going to end like that. I mean, the weakest match of the night for me was the Roderick Strong match, and it wasn't even a bad match. But I do think that was the weakest match of the night. The match that surprised me out tonight was without a doubt the tag team match. I didn't think DIY and Authors of Pain were going to be that good. As I said on the prediction show, and I've said it multiple times, I think that the Authors of Pain are very sloppy. And a question I asked Chris. Here's a question I asked Chris while we were watching the event or watching the match. I said, how much credit can you give the DIY for the Authors of Pain being so good right now?
A lot. They, out of all the people that they faced, DIY has brought out the best in them in terms of not only wrestling, but storytelling. And I think that's an important balance to keep in mind because the Authors of Pain have been really sloppy in the wrestling department and really kind of generic in the storytelling department where they just come in and they just wreck. This time it actually looked like they were struggling. It looked like it really looked like a compelling story, a David versus Goliath type story. And for a minute there, it looked like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were going to win. Actually, for more than one moment. I mean, first they had the submission on them, and it looked like they were going to have a repeat of Toronto, and then they powered out of that, and right before they finish them both off with their kicks, fall right into their powerbomb special.
Yeah. Now here's another question. Authors of Pain are now your NXT Tag Team Champions, and obviously we're going to be seeing them wrestle at the next Takeover, probably against DIY again. More than likely going to be at NXT Orlando. If that's assuming that they're going to be doing that, can Authors of Pain continue their looking as good as they did today against someone else? I mean, the only name I could throw up there is TM61, but we've already seen them wrestle. So, and that was slow.
And they're on injury, So it's not what we're going to see them soon.
So, again, how much credit can you give to Authors of Pain? And I'm not saying that Authors of Pain was awful. I thought they did good. It's just, how much credit can you give them when DIY sold as good as they did?
I mean, you can't give them that much credibility. I mean, they only did one little part of it. I mean, they look good, but I feel like it's because of what DIY did. Honestly, if it wasn't DIY, they weren't doing what they were doing. It was just their standard, we're just gonna wreck you stance.
Well, Kev says they're not gonna last that long. Are you saying that Authors of Pain won't last that long, or?
I honestly got to agree with them. I mean, but here's the thing, though. Like, what's next for the Authors of Pain after DIY? If they survive DIY a second time, it's what I addressed on the pre-show. It's just, if you look at the current roster and what teams have been introduced, we really don't have anybody to go up against either champion, either Authors of Pain or DIY, except for one another, because of TM61 being out, and they haven't introduced any other tag teams into the division lately.
Yeah. Yeah, he meant the Authors of Pain. And I agree. I don't see anything for them even on the main roster. I'm just not a fan of bigger guys, like Big Show and stuff like that, that wrestle where the average size person is struggling the entire match. I'm not a fan of it. I've never have been a fan of that type of wrestling matches. So
I don't know, but here's the thing though. Like, what could you see the Authors of Pain coming up now, or not necessarily now, but like imagine they were actually called up and they were in WWE. Who would they be going against? The only possible people I could see them to go against would be like the Wyatt family.
I don't even think that, to be honest with you. I mean,
No,
no. I just think there's nothing for the Authors of Pain right now. I mean, like the Revival, the best thing for them is to be on SmackDown, because SmackDown
Right.
does not have any heel tag teams right now. I mean, the Wyatt family was the closest thing they had to a heel tag team, and the Wyatt family fell apart recently.
true.
So that's just, as of right now, after the Royal Rumble, a lot of questions will be answered. Trying to think. I mean, for Raw, there could be something for Raw because there's 2 face tag teams and there's 1 heel tag team. I mean, it's really like, if you look at the depth of the roster, it's like, man, for both rosters, it's just like top heels for Raw. It's just like there's just only Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. You could throw up Braun Strowman in there, I'm sure, soon. When it comes to SmackDown, you have AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin. Top face is John Cena, Dean Ambrose. You can even throw in The Miz for heel. Like, they have their shit straight, but then again, it's like we've already seen it. So, I don't know, man. Like, a lot of questions will be answered tomorrow night, and I can't wait for those questions to be answered. And we'll have an idea of what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Because the only thing that we know is happening at WrestleMania is Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. That's about the only thing we know that's happening.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where we go from here. But I'm glad they incorporated Seth Rollins into this weekend somehow. And, even if it bit into the women's title match, I'm glad to see that it's really blowing up and that the promo went the way it did. Triple H finally coming out and meeting with Seth Rollins only to sick the dogs on him.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
I think we'll see Triple H tomorrow night.
Oh, you should have seen Blake's face when that went down. It was great.
Yeah, I actually missed that at first. I had to go back and rewatch it because as soon as that match was over, I got up for a minute to use the bathroom. I came back and I see Seth Rollins going crazy in the crowd. I'm like, oh crap, did he attack Samoa Joe or something? I got to rewind this. I said,
Yeah. That was one of the top spots of the night. And again, it could have gotten in the way of, let's say, the women's match. So I could see where people would get upset about it. But who had the better entrance, Bobby Roode or Shinsuke?
Shinsuke still gives you chills.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I had a seizure.
Yeah, but that was great too.
all those strobe lights.
I thought Bobby Roode's was great too.
Well, no. His isn't great. His is glorious.
Yeah, it was a really good night.
It was. It really was.
It really was a good night. The part-timer didn't show up, sadly. He said he's still helping out a friend. The part-timer will show up tomorrow, though. He's made sure that speaking of the part-timer, he just texted me. Oh, well, as of right now, he's still trying to make it. That's if we keep going.
All right, that's it. We're ending the show right now. Shutting this thing down.
Kyle, you're no longer on the show, you motherfucker. No, I'm joking.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Good God, dog! My dog's bed's right beside me, and she just let some gas out. And Kev Wright, I'm so used to calling him Kevy. Kevin Wright says I loved Bobby Roode or Bobby. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Bobby Roode, and Chris kind of knows, and I've been sure to tell Andrew. I've been watching Bobby Roode before he was Bobby Roode. I was watching him when he was Robert Roode, and he was the whole heel gimmick was him having money, him having gorgeous women with him. I guess you could kind of throw in what he's running right now, but his is more of like he's gonna make it more classy. God, beer money. Whew. So, there's so many. Him, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe. I grew up watching on TNA. I mean, you can even throw in Kurt Angle because I watched Kurt Angle and his faction.
I hate Kurt Angle.
Shit, Booker T was on TNA. Christian Cage, which is Christian, and it was so damn good. I mean, I honestly thought they could have beaten out WWE.
I don't know. I didn't watch a whole lot of TNA.
Oh yeah, any day.
Oops, sorry about that. I totally just hit my mic on accident.
God, Blake.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to bring up? Because I feel like I'm missing something.
I think you covered just about the whole thing. I mean,
did we cover Roger Strong versus Andrade at all?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was an okay match.
Yeah.
That was my go smoke a couple cigarettes match.
Yeah.
But anyway, what are we going from here? Where does Roderick Strong go from here?
I mean, look, I won't lie. Yeah, I was smoking a couple cigarettes, but I was outside of the glass of the front door. I mean, I was watching the match, and Roderick Strong looked really strong. Like he had some, and I had never seen either of those guys wrestle. I hadn't been paying too much attention, but man, that dude could freaking fight, man.
Yeah. Personally, I think that was his first takeover, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was his first takeover. I think he needs to have one more takeover, which will be the next, assuming if it's Orlando. And then, as of right now, this is also assuming if Ty Dillinger doesn't go to the main roster. If he is the only top face for the company, I think he's the guy that goes after the title next. After the Shinsuke feud, and Ty Dillinger is assuming Ty Dillinger leaves and goes to the main roster, I think that he goes after the title, which I'm starting to have second thoughts on Ty Dillinger. I am honestly starting to think that Ty Dillinger should just stay in NXT for maybe one more year and go after the title. Because right now he's the top guy other than Shinsuke. Babyface wise.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't exactly put Roderick Strong into that picture just yet.
No, it wouldn't, but it would give Strong time to develop.
This is very true, my friend.
It also could, what are they going to do with Eric Young? Because assuming Bobby Roode holds the title for basically the rest of 2017 and until SummerSlam, what's EY going to do?
Make a point. I can see where you're coming from with that.
Twiddle his thumbs.
Right.
Heel-wise, I think they're set. I don't think they need any more heels. I think Eric Young and Bobby Roode are the best things that they have heel-wise. Face-wise is where I think they're going to be, I wouldn't say struggling, but I think that's whoever takes that opportunity can shine. And I think Roderick Strong and Ty Dillinger are in the spotlight for that. We also can't forget, Ty Dillinger could show up at the Rumble and not be on the main roster.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. I just see him. I see him running in. I don't think he's gonna last very long. It would be cool if he did, but I'm telling you, they're gonna call him up.
He has to last for a while because him coming in and then getting eliminated shortly after is pointless.
Yeah.
But we really have covered basically everything. It sucks that it happened a lot quicker than I expected. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to, talk about?
Stuff. No.
Stuff.
No. That's my show. Fuck that.
But shit. I mean, at this point, the Royal Rumble, I'm ready for it. I'm actually really excited. Our pre-show will start at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. So
I kind of wish the Rumble was tonight. I'm like that event was good. Like it's got me wanting to watch the Rumble already. Like I'm already ready already.
And the scary part is that we're like excited and we're amped up, but that question comes up again: does NXT give us an expectation for the main roster, and then fail? Phoenix says results are okay. So the results: Roderick Strong beats Andrade Cien. Ty Dillinger loses to Eric Young. DIY loses the tag team championships against Authors of Pain. Asuka retains the NXT Women's title. Shinsuke Nakamura loses the NXT Championship to Bobby Roode.
And Shinsuke's gonna come in WrestleMania. I'm telling you, that's my boy.
And if you're wanting details on Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bobby Roode, they played the injury angle on Shinsuke, saying that he really tore up his knee. Bobby Roode capitalized. Bobby Roode looked real strong. So did Shinsuke. So the rematch is going to look really good. When it comes to the tag team match, it 100% passed my expectations. Authors of Pain looked really good. So did DIY, which is normal. The women's match was shorter than normal. Nikki Cross went through a table, and Asuka single-handedly beat Peyton Royce and Billie Kay.
Thought it was great. I mean, it was a great event all the way around. And I don't see that very often.
Ty Dillinger let the numbers game get to him. He hit the what's his finisher called? It always like runs
the tiebreaker.
It's the tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker. Little did we come to find out, Eric Young gets help, puts his foot on the rope, and Ty Dillinger gets distracted, and Eric Young finishes him off. Roderick Strong beats Andrade Cien clean. Other than that, I mean, on a scale.
Wait, did you just hold on? You just said Ty Dillinger beats Andrade.
I said Roderick Strong.
No, no, you're still wrong because he didn't beat either of them.
He would have if he was in that match.
Yeah, but it was Ty Dillinger versus Eric Young. Remember?
I know. I said that.
I didn't hear you say Eric Young. I swear, maybe my ears are deceiving.
Probably because you're looking at your phone.
I'm not looking at my phone.
But other than that, good pay-per-view. Especially it passed my expectations. That's 100%. I honestly and truthfully thought that this was one of the weaker cards that NXT has given us, and good Lord, did they show up.
Yeah,
it was great.
Royal Rumble's going to have a big mess on their hands trying to pick up the pieces after this.
Yeah. But I think we're going to end it on that note. We're kind of just babbling on at this point. But tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Time, we'll give our predictions, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Earlier than normal, yes. Unfortunately, we are going to have to watch the entire pre-show. Speaking of pre-shows, how about Corey Graves no longer being a voice for NXT?
Oh, yeah, how did we forget that? I mean, wow. Nigel McGuinness has taken up his spot, his mantle there.
Yeah, it's going to be really
It's such
weird.
a big shock.
It's going to be really
I know.
weird hearing his voice.
I mean, he's been calling NXT since his injury, you know?
Yeah. It's gonna be different, and I think it's the best move for him personally. Dude's doing a lot. He's doing 205 Raw pay-per-views, and then he's doing his WWE network shows. I mean, he's doing a lot. I think this is the best move for him. So I'm just saying, this Preston guy is awful.
Yeah, I was telling Blake during the event.
You mean Watson?
Yeah, Preston Watson is
Percy
awful.
Percy Watson.
Percy Watson. God bless, he's awful.
I was telling Blake during the event, and I think Blake kind of got a little mad at me, but he reminds me of like John Madden in his last few years of commentating. You know, just stating the obvious beyond belief. Like, and the reason why they call that a touchdown is because he just went across the end zone. All he was doing was either reiterating something that somebody said or just flat agreeing, kind of like what I've been doing on this show tonight.
It's like WWE went out and said, we need another Byron Saxton. Let's throw him at it.
Oh,
But like, here's the thing: I thought Byron Saxton with NXT was outstanding. I thought he was really good in NXT. But when you turn around and get on Monday Night Raw, it's just like, oh my god, he's awful.
Well, they're sticking with people like JBL and shit, and of course he's not with him now. But I mean, dude, when you put him and JBL next to each other, JBL mutilates him.
So does Corey Graves.
Yeah, I think just about everybody does.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time, and immediately following the Royal Rumble, we'll be live with the results and our thoughts.
At 4 a.m. in Tokyo.
Okay.
Hey, you never know.
Okay. So until next time, for Andrew,
Or tomorrow.
for Chris, peace out.
Bye. Shut up.